It's selfish basketball. It's a lack of awareness. And this might be the most egregious case of it. And I don't care that Lexie Hull was cold from the field. She didn't do well in this game either. But no thanks to Angel Reese, they certainly lost points on this possession.
Basketball fans were shocked when Angel Reese ignored her wide-open teammate during a key moment in the game. In the video, Lexie Hull could be seen clearly asking for the ball with an easy path to the basket, but Reese chose to take a tough shot instead and missed. People are now wondering if this has anything to do with the ongoing drama involving Caitlinclark. Angel Reese has been in the spotlight a lot lately, and this moment is being called one of the clearest examples of what some are calling selfish play.
For supporters, well, we're going to talk about the unrivaled, more specifically the Rose BC, more specifically Angel Reese, and how one performance and most importantly one particular play should send a shiver of fear, should frighten the hell out of Chicago Sky fans everywhere, because it's something, frankly, Sky fans saw a lot of last year, and I have been vocal about, and that's the fact that when Angel Reese gets the ball in her hands anywhere close to the basket.
Before we explain what happened in the game, here's a quick update for anyone who hasn't been keeping up. This is a professional women's basketball event that includes some big WNBA names playing during their offseason. Angel Reese, who plays for the Chicago Sky in the WNBA, has been playing on a team called Rose BC, along with teammates like Lexie Hull and experienced player Chelsea Gray. Rose BC had recently turned things around. They were on a surprising 5-game winning streak after a rough start to the season with only 1 win and 14 losses. They seem to have found their rhythm, and were starting to look like real playoff contenders. But what happened in this game made fans and experts question how well the team is working together and raised concerns about Reese's style of play.
So, her game yesterday, my God, right here, 71-62, a loss, and her game was ugly.
Now, let's talk about the moment that has everyone buzzing. In the video, Lexie Hull makes a perfect move toward the basket. She's completely open, has her hand up asking for ball, and is in the perfect spot for an easy layup. This wasn't a quick moment that could have been missed. She was wide open for several seconds and clearly calling for pass. Angel Reese sees her, makes eye contact, and has a clear path to pass the ball, but chooses not to. Instead, she takes a tough, contested shot that misses badly. It was like watching someone close a door while their teammate is right there trying to come in. In basketball, no matter what level you're playing at, you're always taught to pass to the open player. It's one of the most basic rules of the game. This wasn't a tough decision or a tricky situation. It was as simple and obvious as it gets.
Said before, guys, I've tried to be real honest about the fact that I think Angel's more concerned about being an influencer, content creator, over being a better basketball player. And I think this might be the perfect example of that. All right, this is either before or right after the game. They got destroyed in this game, by the way. They did. This was her taking pictures, hanging out with some rappers and producers, etc.
Here's a simplified version of everything you shared, rewritten in clear, easy-to-understand language without a heading. Some people have pointed out that Angel Reese seems to care more about being a social media star or influencer than focusing on improving as a basketball player. This recent game might be the clearest example of that. Before or after the game, which her team lost badly, she was seen taking pictures and hanging out with rappers and producers. The moment that got everyone talking actually happened early in the game, not during a stressful moment late in the fourth quarter. It was still the first quarter, when teams are usually settling in and following their game plan. The play itself wasn't just a one-time mistake. Reese had a rough game overall. In 13 minutes, she only scored 8 points, making 4 of 10 shots. She missed her only 3-point shot and free throw. She did grab 13 rebounds, but also committed 4 fouls and 2 turnovers. Most notably, She didn't score a single point in the entire second half. Meanwhile, Chelsea Gray, the veteran on the team, had an incredible game. She scored 38 of the team's 62 points. That's more than 61% of the total. One fan even commented, "Poor Chelsea. She's doing everything she can to save her teammates." Outside of Gray and Reese, the only other players, Ariel Atkins and Lexie, combined for just 2 points, both from Hull. This kind of imbalance doesn't usually happen in teams that play well together. What makes this even more surprising is that just last week, Angel Reese was being celebrated for a historic performance in the league. She had 22 points and 21 rebounds in one game, the first 20-20 stat line in this league's history. She was all over social media and sports news. But now, just a few days later, we're seeing a very different version of her, one that seems more focused on taking shots than helping the team win. It's raised questions about whether she's chasing stats more than victories. Some fans are also wondering if there's more going on beneath the surface. Reese has been in the spotlight since college, especially after her team's big championship win over Caitlinclark's Iowa team. That rivalry, along with the drama and attention it brought, has followed both of them into the pros. Some people are even connecting Reese's treatment of Lexie in this game to that history. Hull, like Clark, is a white player who doesn't get as much media attention as Reese. Some have speculated that race, media coverage, or even lingering feelings about the Clark rivalry might be affecting how Reese is interacting with teammates. It's important to note that Lexie and Caitlinclark don't have any known issues or rivalry, but some fans are asking if Hull is just caught in the middle of a bigger story. When a team loses and one player takes most of the shots while ignoring open teammates, it's natural for people to question whether the team is working together. Chelsea Gray's performance stands out even more because of all this. She played with heart and focus, even though the team wasn't clicking. It makes you wonder how things might have turned out if everyone had been playing together and supporting each other. This whole situation also touches on a bigger topic in basketball: finding the balance between personal achievements and team success. Basketball is a team game, but personal stats help players get attention, endorsement deals, and better contracts. For young players especially, this can create a tricky situation where individual goals don't always match what's best for the team.
Angel Reese, the content creator side, I guess, right? Once again, it's pretty clear basketball is her top priority. I cannot imagine how anybody could view this athlete in any other way. It's clear basketball is front and foremost in her mind at all times. Right? Question mark? All right, here we go. This is her. This is Angel dancing, I guess. It says game day mood, so I'm taking it. I would assume this would have been posted. It's 11:50 a.m., so I'm assuming this would have been posted prior to getting the absolute shit beat out of the other day by the Mist. I'm talking about the Rose BC. Surely they wouldn't have. Look, the moment you lost, you might have took this down because she had a god-awful game. But okay, this does nothing but fuel the she could care less about basketball critics. Yeah, who that might be, I don't know. But I'm just throwing this out. Here we go. Let's check it out. That's right. Let me turn this down. I'm not fitting to get a copyright. It's clear. I think it's clear to all of us that basketball is obviously at the forefront.
Here's a much simpler version of everything you just shared, rewritten in plain, clear language without a heading. What's worrying for Angel Reese's supporters is that moments like this one only add fuel to the negative stories she's trying to get away from. She's often said the media and fans focus too much on drama and not enough on what she actually achieves on the court. But when she ignores an open teammate like she did with Lexie, it gives people more reasons to criticize her. The unrivaled league, which is still new and trying to build a strong reputation, is in a tricky spot. Having star players like Reese brings attention, but when that attention turns into controversy, it can hurt the league's image. League officials are probably watching closely, knowing that while drama might get people talking, the future of the league depends on solid, team-first basketball. Coaches and teammates now have a tough job. In pro sports, it's rare to call out a teammate publicly. But behind closed doors, these kinds of things have to be addressed. Chelsea Gray, as a respected veteran, probably has the voice and experience to talk to teammates about what went wrong. But it's unclear those conversations are happening or making a difference. It's also important to think about the pressure Reese is under. She's one of the most talked about young players in women's basketball, and making the jump from college to the pros is already hard. Having all eyes on you makes it even tougher. That doesn't excuse poor team play, but it does help explain some of the pressure she's facing. Some people defending Reese say one bad game or one selfish play doesn't define her. Every player has off nights, and even the best make mistakes sometimes. They believe she's being judged more harshly than others who might do the same things without all the headlines. But her critics argue this isn't just about one game. They say it's part of a pattern, going back to her college days, where she's had issues with sportsmanship and putting the team first. From taunting opponents to starting social media fights, they think this behavior is nothing new. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Reese isn't the villain some make her out to be, but she's also not just a misunderstood player being unfairly targeted. She's a young athlete learning how to deal with fame, pressure, and growing as a professional. Sometimes she handles it well, and sometimes she doesn't, just like a lot of people would in her shoes. As fans, it's best to look at the full picture. Yes, not passing to an open teammate was a bad basketball decision, but constantly nitpicking every move also creates an unfair image. What we can all agree on is that in that moment, the right move was to pass the ball. That didn't happen, and that's a basic mistake any coach would call out. As the season continues and Reese heads back to the WNBA, this moment will likely be added to the growing list of talking points about her. Whether she chooses to adjust and become more of a team player or keeps doing things her own way will shape what comes next in her career. For now, fans will keep watching closely. Some will hope she grows, others will expect more drama. But either way, there's no denying she's one of the most talked about figures in women's basketball. Looking again at the game footage shows something even more surprising. This moment happened when Reese's team, Rose BC, was still in a good position, not desperate or trying to make a huge comeback. Usually, that's when players stick to smart, team-first basketball. Chelsea Gray, who led the team with 38 points, is known for being one of the best passers in the game. She's built her career on making the right plays. Her huge performance in this game raises a question. Did she have to score so much because the offense wasn't working well as a team? The media stories around Reese have always been split. Some say she's treated unfairly because of who she is, especially as a confident black woman in a mostly white spotlight. Others say it's not about who she is, but what she does. People can find examples to support both sides. What makes this situation even more interesting is that Lexie Hull isn't a big-name player. She's kept a low profile since her Stanford days. There was no reason not to pass to her. It would have helped the team. This makes people wonder about how players are getting along behind the scenes. In pro sports, everyone doesn't have to be best friends, but they do need to work together on the court. Coaches now have to figure out how to handle what happened. Do they show the video to the whole team? Do they pull players aside for one-on-one talks? It's not easy, but it's part of what good coaches and teams have to do. For the league as a whole, this kind of drama is both a problem and an opportunity. It gets people talking and might bring in new fans. But the league's long-term success depends on people staying for the great basketball, not just the headlines. Both Reese and her team still have time to change the story. One good game, where everyone plays together and shares the ball, can start to turn things around. In the end, the stats don't lie. Reese had a bad game. 4 of 10 shooting, no points in the second half, 2 turnovers, and 4 fouls in just 13 minutes is not good at the pro level. Everyone has bad games, but ignoring a wide-open teammate makes this more than just about shooting numbers. For Chelsea Gray, this game showed both her amazing talent and how hard her role is. Scoring 38 out of 62 points is impressive, but also shows how little help she had. How she leads the team going forward will be key to how things play out. This whole situation raises a bigger question for women's basketball. How do we balance excitement and controversy with a need to respect the game itself? Debates and drama can bring attention, but too much focus on that can take away from the sport's progress. The video is clear. A teammate was open, calling for the ball, and got ignored. Was it just a selfish moment or something deeper? Either way, the next chapter will depend on how Reese and her team respond.